Hey, we made it. All right. Only 5 minutes late. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Uh, like old times, huh? It's been a crazy week. Crazy. I hope everybody else is doing well. I thought it was a good video though. Been wanting to make that one for a long time, even before I did, even before I knew I did. You know, um, needless to say, that stuff has been brewing for a long time. Not sure where we're gonna end up sitting today. It's kind of hot, so just kind of hanging out on the front porch at the moment.
I step on the grass and it goes crunch, crunch.
Yep, it's almost August, and it shows. It is a gorgeous day. Oh, but yeah, it's been an exhausting week. I drove to Indiana and back over the weekend, so literally spent just 2 days recovering from that, I think. And then yesterday was video day, and here we are. So, just kind of hanging out, waiting for y'all to show up. Cause yeah, I'm pretty tired. And it is hot out here. I want to go sit on the side patio, but I almost dare not do that because like it's under a tarp. But that side of the house has been in the sun, you know, all day. So um, it is like deceptively warm over there. Like you go for a minute, and you sit down, and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad, and in the shade, and whatever, and then an hour goes by, and my brain is just fried. You know? So front porch at Shelby, I think. Mm. Yeah. Anyway, and had a breakthrough with the book too, and so like I know the next half a dozen scenes I get to write. Hooray! Hooray! That is a genuine hooray, and also like an oh my god, like okay, because I thought the thing was done a year ago. I thought the first part was done a year and a half ago, and then I read the rest of it, and then another year has gone by, and I've been working on all the thematic stuff and all the character stuff, and just so the first one there's kind of a lot of work to do, and it's a little intimidating, but excuse me. Um, I I get to write a fire scene next, so that's fun. I know what I'm doing. I know this week. Theoretically, Thursday is the day I give myself to have a day off. You know, where I'm not specifically working on anything. You know, weekend is family time, obviously, and Friday is like shopping day and writing day. But I might dip into it early tomorrow because I know what I'm doing and I'm excited about it. So that's cool. You know, I said in the live chat earlier, I can't wait to get back to editing, and I meant it. I meant it. I did. So that's something. I'm really working hard to, to like build the brand of the channel lately. What's up, guys? I see some people are here. How you doing? Um, what do you guys think of the new banner? Did you see it? I think maybe I need to narrow the black band in the middle a little bit because you can't really see the blue. It's like that like indigo blue I've been using for the lettering, you know. Um, and you can't really see it on the phone or on the tablet, so I might need to tweak that a little bit. And the new thumbnail picture. What do you guys think? I've been doing some tweaking for some things. You guys been with the channel for a little while. I would love to know what you guys think. Um, And yeah, movement with the book is afoot, right? So full speed ahead on that. And I definitely want to have that done by the end of the year. For sure, for sure, for sure. Hopefully before that. Like, it's 120 pages theoretically. If I just edited it 10 pages a week, I could have it done in 4 months, 3 months. What is that? 12 weeks? Yeah, 3 months. So it's going to be a little more complicated than that. Obviously, like I say, I need to write some scenes. Um, but definitely by the end of the year, I want to have that polished up enough for people to actually really seriously, seriously be asking around to get people to read the damn thing and really pushing that out in a big way. Um, and going a little ham on self promotion for the channel because, like, I don't know what it is. There's some drag on this. Adlet, what up? Thank you, thank you. You like it? Sweet. Thank you. I tried to kind of go with like the color scheme that I've just sort of been establishing in the thumbnail, sort of by accident, because I like the indigo color. I think it's, I don't know. And the indigo and the green kind of makes me think suffragette, but also I'm sitting in my garden, so the green is just kind of, there as part of the aesthetic, and so I'm kind of trying to pull things together, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, and build my brand. Like, what the hell am I here to talk about? You know what I mean? I've done so many response videos. I'm kind of sick of doing response videos. How do you feel, Logical? How you doing? I mean, I love response videos, and I find myself yelling at the screen so often that I just can't imagine that I'll ever stop actually doing that because it is satisfying in that sort of way that candy is satisfying, right? But it's been what, 4 years, 5 years, or something? Been on in goblin mode basically all week. Does that mean you're hoarding shiny things and hiding in dark corners? That's what that sounds like to me. If so, I'm in goblin mode all the time. Pretty good, pretty good. I was saying a minute ago. I know the next 4, 5, 6 scenes that I need to add to the book. The first installment, Goblin Motors of the World Unite. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Working in the background, behind the scenes, and whatever. Like, okay, I used to do stage crew. If you've ever done stage crew, you literally get paid to run around in the dark with fun shiny objects and wear black all the time. Like, it is Goblin's dream come true. um, yeah. So when I said that I was looking forward to getting back to editing, I super meant it. Okay, that does sound like a fun job. Not gonna lie. You're right. You're right. Stage crew. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't pay super well, of course, because it's too much fun. Working in theater does not pay well, but yeah, I've done just about everything you could do, I guess. I have more than a little theater experience under my belt that, of course, I don't use for anything except this, I guess. Yeah, I hope that comes through. I need to learn to talk with my mouth open, right? Like, I noticed, and then I listen back to it and I'm like, well, I don't have time to go back and re record that. I wish I'd said that with my mouth open, like, oops. I'm learning. It's a learning process. It's a learning process, because I'm not like Shakespearean trained or anything, but no, I've been on stage. I've been backstage a lot. I've done sound. I've even done a little lighting. So, not really set design, but I've observed set design. And they never really wanted to ask me to help build anything because I'm a girl. So, whatever. Do some little jazz hands at the end of your videos. No, because like I don't see a reason to play up the theater experience. I don't have a theater degree. I am not a theater person, which is really the reason that I'm not still doing theater stuff. I do enjoy it, but the cultural the culture surrounding it is just not. I'm just not. I'm just I don't know. It's like everyone is supposed to be aspiring to be the lead actress, and I'm just not. So I just end up standing in the corner of the room going, I don't know that song, you guys. Sorry. No, I have an audio tech degree, an associate's audio tech degree, which, I need to get a better microphone. Recommendations are welcome if anybody has any recommendations for a good Bluetooth microphone, something I can plug into my phone because I don't have. Once you start getting into nice microphones, they want you to have like a mixing board or something, I guess. And like, I don't have any of that crap anymore. You know how many times I moved in the last 15 years? It's ridiculous. Um, so yeah. I'm not supposed to do the writing till Friday, theoretically, according to the routine, but I might get to it tomorrow because I know what I'm about to do. I have the next 3, 4, or 5 scenes planned out. So, mixing board sounds like it'd probably be a hassle to set up for every stream, too. Oh, no, 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 no. Again, that's literally what I have a degree in. The setting up and running of the mixing board is like not a problem. I would just need a place to put it so I could leave it there. Um, and I don't know if y'all are aware, but I do most of my filming outside on a patio that doesn't really have like a good solid roof over it. So I have to set up and tear down everything but the lights every time I do any. Well, not the plants, obviously, but the computer, the microphone, the camera, all that stuff. I have to set up and tear down every time I go out there, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I have to refigure the camera every time. The angle's probably a little different in every fucking video because that's the hassle. No, no. If I had a mixing board, it would be because I had a place to put it. And I do want to go sit over there. I'm kind of sore that it's so damn hot. I'm not happy about that. Looking forward to like September when it's still ridiculously hot, but not, like still unbelievably like September around here is like summer. It's unbelievably hot here in September, like straight through October. And Halloween comes along, and you're like, well, put your costumes on. Don't worry about jackets because it's 70 degrees outside. Like I'm not complaining, but it's July is intense. Oh my gosh! Speaking of kids, what did you guys think of the video? Was that just a ramble or what? Like seriously, I'm trying to, you know, I felt like I did a pretty decent callback at the end to what the hell I introduced the damn thing as. But it really was just sort of a ramble through my own thoughts. And I'm very interested to hear feedback on that, like how much sense that made to people. I figure if I made people angry, that's even that's a decent sign that like I made sense, right? And it's too early to really see the numbers yet, but you guys get this, okay? And I think maybe this might have something to do with just the like. It sounded in some of it like you were processing some of the stuff you were talking about in one of the live streams. Yeah, going deeper into that's the idea. Yeah, is to develop all these same themes. I mean, I think that's the basis of any solid anything, right? Like the one where someone asked you if you felt like a sucker for being a housewife and such. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's the same exact same line of thought. It's a line of thought that I've had for many years. That I've developed over many years. And sometimes the repetitive language, if there's repetitive language in there, is because, well, I journal these things. Right? And when you, especially as a writer, I guess, is when you find just the right verbiage, just the right, you know, line of description to get to the point that you're trying to get to, you keep that, right? So, um, and because the question really at the end of the day is, do you feel like a sucker for being, a woman who reproduced, who had the audacity to like who, indulge the biological imperative, right? That if every other generation before us had not done, we would not be here. Which, when you look at it that way, why is that such a big whopping deal? Like, oh my God, you had kids? Holy shit, you're a mother, you're a mom. Wow, It's like, yeah, most women have been throughout all of history. That's why we're all here. That's why there's 8 fucking billion of us or whatever. So really, it does, and we don't want to admit that motherhood and womanhood are like intrinsically linked, but they are. It's probably the biggest choice you'll ever make in your life. Whether or not to follow that, whether or not to do that, whether or not to have kids as a woman is probably the biggest choice you'll ever make, and I think it should be a choice. It certainly is for men, right? If they could just be like, "Oh no, that's not mine," which of course we don't have that luxury so much, do we? And I made that. Had that I said that as a joke to my sister the other day. Something about, as a woman, you do at least know that your kids are yours, right? You know the baby's yours, like. And so men are insecure about that. And like, oh my gosh, spinster cat lady. Is anybody familiar with her? Her videos are so good too. I feel like she and I are sort of a vibe a little bit. Because she posted something this morning, like as an example, she posted something this morning, literally about, oh gosh, what was it? Mm. Oh yeah, it was Elon Musk talking about how dare his college girlfriend have an abortion without asking him. You know, he just sounded so entitled and he was so offended that this woman had made a decision that affected his legacy without consulting him. And I just, how entitled you are, to her physical labor for your benefit. The fuck? The fuck? Wow. You know, it goes so way beyond the idea of, oh yeah, well, we might have had a conversation about it. No, it was so much more than that. Oh, I did not share it. I should have. I wonder if I can find it. Anyway, I think there's a couple of channels with that names like that. I don't know. Maybe that is her. I don't know. Feminist cat lady spinster. Whatever. Oh my gosh. He's talking about waiting 15 weeks before you murder a child. Um, yeah, the closer you get to term, the closer it is to becoming a child, idiot. My girlfriend in college killed our baby because she wasn't ready. Uh-huh. That's her prerogative. That is the female fucking prerogative because it's our body in question here. Right? And this man is, a thought leader by so way too many. Oh my god, Elon Musk, what a yets. Like ultimately, if women want full control to kill a baby, men should have full control of whether or not to support it. Yeah, because rape doesn't exist. Because no woman ever had sex with her boyfriend when she didn't want to. What the fuck? Elon Musk, you're right. He's had so many kids since then, many of which hate him. Right, yeah, he's a spoiled man who came from blood, diamond money. Yeah, I know. And it shows. I guess that's what I'm saying. Because he felt entitled to that woman's physical labor with her, to create his heir or whatever, his spawn, for lack of a better term, with her body, right, for a year, right, not to mention a year of her time. Whoa, a woman who's not ready for a child had an abortion. How unthinkable. Exactly, exactly. That is what it is for. And again, there are 8 billion people on the planet. We are not exactly facing extinction. Okay. And unwanted children, in my experience, grow up to be some of the worst assholes imaginable a lot of the time. So, you know, for the sake of all of us, if you don't want kids, please don't have them. What do you mean, Joe? Did you hit delete by accident? Oh, I gotta switch hands. Ooh, my arm is going to sleep. Ooh, I'm gonna have to sit on the floor, and I don't want to. Oh my god, is she coming through again? Oh, that old lady is just the absolute top-notch drama queen. I have arrived. Ah, as in you're in. Gotcha. Hey Joe, how you doing? I think people have children without much thought because they think that's what they're supposed to do. It's sad, really. We're supposed to be beyond that, right? Isn't that like the whole modernity thing, the whole birth control thing? Like we're supposed to have moved beyond that of doing it just because it's your prerogative and you're what brand do I smoke? I'm embarrassed that I smoke at all. They are lucky strikes. Um, the writer going on about it being people's duty or destiny to have kids and such, which must be a racist thing because it's not a population level thing, is it? Saw some of it in the RNC speeches. Wow, you watched that? Camel Light for you? Yeah, I smoked those for years. They're not dissimilar. These are lights too. Girl, that's what I've been smoking. They're cheap. Not here, they're not. I have to go to BP because all the little convenience stores around here want to charge me $6.50 for a pack of those. I had an abortion when I was 18, and my father came home from work early and brought me my favorite candy. And I was laying in the bed, and he said, Joni, you're very brave. I think you saved 2 lives today. Yeah, it's nice when men have some comprehension of what the fuck is actually going on. Because I think that if you have respect for you as a person, as a human being, that is only the inevitable perspective. That's very supportive of him, yeah. And hopefully he had hopes and dreams for your young life that obviously, if you were spending your time raising a kid, were not going to be fulfilled, right? So good on him. My dad thought women were much superior to me. Uh, there's $6 where, there's $6 where I am, and sadly, that's the cheapest option. Oh wow, yeah. Excuse me. I like to say that this East Tennessee is stuck perpetually in the late '90s, and in a lot of ways, that's true, and that's one of them. Men, not me. Oh, thought that your dad thought women were much superior to men. Marlboros are 10. Yeah, they're like 8.5 here, and I don't even like. They're not even that good. I don't understand. Whatever. It's a terrible habit, and I want to quit. So I figure knowing that is a good step in the right direction, right? 650 is expensive. I miss living down south, right? Yeah. On the other hand, they grow it here, so I wonder if that has anything to do with it. This I do not ever plan to quit. Coffee, I don't know that you need to ever quit coffee, right? I hope not. No, no reason. Hmm. I'm allowed to be addicted to coffee forever, right? Cries in New York tobacco tax, right? 212? Oh, she retracted that message, I think. That must have been a typo. Coffee's good for you, right? Yeah, here's to that. Hmm. All the sugar I put in it is not. So I'm down to two of these a day because, well, I need to live long enough to do some things, you know? Oh, my talk text is shit. I quit smoking a year and a half ago because my brand went to up to over $12 a pack. Wow, I feel better and I have more money, but I do miss it now and again. Right. No, and I figure I will miss it, and I've accepted that. I'm processing through. It's kind of a big deal, you know. I don't smoke, so I have no frame of reference. Haha. Hey, kitty. Hey, what's up? I heard cigs in New York are up to 18 or 20. It's like they don't want you to buy them or something. But see, I don't know about anywhere else, but here in the Midwest, rural, like northern South area, or whatever you want to call it, Appalachia, whatever. Here in the middle part of the country, they rely on those taxes to like fund things. So I don't. I wish them luck in actually phasing them out because I don't know what they would get the revenue from. That's a massive line of tax revenue, reliable, massive and reliable line of tax revenue that they're just kissing goodbye. That seems odd. Okay, get this. It's $25 a pack in Canada. Yeah. On the other hand, Canadians have health insurance, right? So, yeah. I think I had smoking tied in with me being a writer and artist, and it was just something I did, but I also quit things easily, so I'm lucky. Yeah, often I do. And I feel like there's a decent chance that if the right moment comes and the right day comes, I will just put them down. But that's what my grandma did. That was always the story. Well, because I never saw her smoke at all, and everybody said that she used to. Why do that only to rely on it, though? Oh, I don't. Yeah, the state I'm in, they tax the fuck out of cigarettes. I don't know. Not all Canadians, really? That's weird. What the hell kind of socialized healthcare is that? If you're in the city and want something gourmet, like Nat Sherman or American Spirit, they can be that pricey. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, American Spirits are $9 a pack down here too. Yeah. Expensive is still expensive. You just it's all about relative levels. The states that have legalized cannabis have more money than they know what to do with right now. I hope so. Here's hoping because then they'll set an example for the others. Maybe. Here's a thought. I'm gonna try sitting on the floor. Ugh, I can't hold that thing up anymore. Ugh, this is gonna hurt. Okay, I do it for you guys. American Spirits are $11.50 a pack. Yikes. I don't know. A friend of mine said they smoke slower, and like, I guess they do. I guess they do. I've bummed a couple from him. I guess that's true. I don't know. And that's for having it being tied in with a writer and artist. I mean, yes, in that I'm used to having one when I'm writing. That's for sure. Um, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of romantic notions attached to being a writer because when I was young and collecting romantic notions attached to things like that, I thought I was a musician. So, like, I was a musician. Um, and like once a musician, always a musician. I guess I don't know. I smoke so that other people around me can live. terrible. American Spirit is what I smoked. I decided if I was going to smoke, I was going to smoke the least harmful thing. And when I couldn't afford it anymore, that's when I quit. That's so rational, though. Right, yeah. I got you. Um, that's so rational, though. Addiction is hardly rational for most of us. So, I have also sort of resigned myself to that. I'm going to have to do it on a gut level. I can't just hype myself up to this because that's not going to be enough. Oh, because life continues to be insane. I tried that a few years ago. I managed to quit for about 4 months, and then my dad pulled a stunt that was absolutely balls to the wall insane, and I needed a smoke. Okay, so life is going to continue to be insane, and I need to get it down to convince myself to that deep, deep gut level. Oh, hello, kitty. I still don't have any food for you. You want to go inside? Huh? You want to go inside? Huh? Let's see if you want to go inside. Oh, come on. Come on. Nope. In you go. Come on. You with the dog. You like dogs. Ugh. This thing keeps stepping on my keyboard too. So boo, dog, boo, or cat, whatever, whatever they are. I see a lot of people super addicted to gambling and scratch off tickets, and the state makes hella bank off those too. Yeah, that makes so little sense to me. I keep forgetting that that's an addiction too. I genuinely sort of can't imagine that, but I have a theory about that. Of course. I wish I would have put as much effort into myself as I did into my relationships with men. It's the only regret that I have. Aw. It's super relatable. That sounds like the blurb on the book I want to read. Been smoking since I was 10. Wow, quitting ain't gonna happen. Sometimes it's the only thing that keeps me sane. Okay. I didn't start till I was 19, so I do have some hope in that regard. I was almost an adult when I finally started, so yeah. Oh my god, people are super addicted to those. No, I know, you're right. Gambling is just a wicked addiction for some people, and I have a theory about that actually. Which according to this, I have what is known as a conservative temperament, which is just that I'm a look before I leap sort of person, which doesn't necessarily translate to political conservatism, obviously, but sometimes it does. Apparently, it translates to conservative lifestyle choices. I can't fathom the idea that my lifestyle choices are right for everybody. What the fuck? How? Why? What? No. I have that just basic egalitarian frame of mind because I was the weirdo growing up, I think. So I just have this built-in empathy for weirdos everywhere. The fact that I don't look like one at the moment is purely coincidental, I assure you. But my theory about why some people are super addicted to gambling and thrill seeking and that stuff, I can't even fathom that because okay, the theory is based on what I learned about neuroscience, which is that then they hook those people up to an fMRI, a functional magnetic resonance imaging machine that can watch your brain in real time. Those people, their brain lights up the thrill is right before they find out whether they won or not. Which you'd think if you win, it'd be right after, right? And I don't think that's the way my brain works. I feel that build up right before too, but to me it's anxiety, right? To me it's nerves, So I think it's just simply a different neurological framework. Literally, I think their brains work differently than mine do. I'm a look before I leap person too, says Joe. My dad used to say that he admired my ability to learn from other people's mistakes. Right, yeah, right, yeah. Huh. Built-in weirdo empathy. Yeah, 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 totally, totally. I love misfits of all kinds. They are my people. Exactly. Ironically. I love the irony too of talking about people who don't fit in as a group, outliers, right? As a group. That's the irony always tickles me just a little bit. It's an addiction to the chance of winning. You're right. That was my thought when I saw that. I saw something about that years ago and I thought, I do. I feel that build up intensely right before something like that too. And I feel it as like a building dread. It is not fun for me. Not, you know. Ah, the world would be boring without misfits. True. True. And I think the world would also be boring without leap before you look type people. The other type. You may have heard me say this before. Like, if everyone were like me, nobody would ever do, the Europeans would never, we wouldn't be here because they would never come to North America. Because I look at that and I'm like, you think there's land out there, do you? Have a good time. Write me if you find any. Like, I can't wait to, I can't wait to hear about it when you get back, but I'm not going to be the first one to get in that ship and go, no. Nope. Nope. Not doing it. I'd rather stay here where, like, the land is and the food is and all that stuff. Like, no. Mm-mm. But obviously, we need people like that. Obviously, we need people like that. I'm just not one of them. We are more real. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think that that's the truth of it. Is that everyone is a misfit in some way. Everyone has that moment, has at least one moment like that as a kid growing up, where you realize that no one around you has any fucking clue what you're talking about, right? Like, and you just that little cold terror in your child heart of, oh my god, wait, am I making not even making sense? Like, or the rejection of somebody. Like, everyone has a moment like that. I think everyone can relate to that on some level. That's actually a strong theme in my book. So, kind of banking on that actually. Literally and figuratively. I think it's gambling is fine, but a few times I've done it. I've always quit when I'm ahead. Yeah, thank you, right? Right. I like to think that's what I would do, but like I'm just a scaredy pants. I don't even want to go in there. Like if I have money, I would rather just keep it. And I don't see the point of going in the casino. I don't understand. Like what? I only play 21 because you have the best chances of winning, and I almost always win. Oh, nice. My intuition seems to be very sharp. Nice. I also think I bet on chances in a row, which that game is good for. Okay. Okay. Well, like I think, like I say, my intuition is clouded by dread. I freely admit that in that situation. I just don't think I'd be a strong gambler. Not for me, but I sell tickets to people who buy tickets day after day and they get all excited when they win $200 or something, but they put it back into more tickets. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it too. I don't get it. If I have money, I'd rather just keep it and use it for something else. I don't understand. I don't understand. Same. I know I would get addicted to slot machines so quick, so I'm staying the fuck out of casinos. That's also smart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's definitely been one or two things in the world that I'm like, ooh, no. Nope, 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 nope. Moth to a flame. Nope, nope, nope. You know. Oh, yeah. Gambling's not one of them. I don't know. Maybe it's because they took me. My parents took me to Vegas when I was 9 years old. And you got to walk to the casino as an elementary schooler. And just everything is just, I don't know. I don't know. I've always been this way. It's not like I was excited to see them or anything, but like, I cannot imagine like people save up to go sit in those places. And I'm just, That's the weirdest damn thing to me. I don't know, because but I'm the weirdo, right? I'm the weirdo, obviously, because Las Vegas is home to millions of people and attracts millions more every year to sit in casinos and do that shit. And I don't what I don't get it. If I go to a place like that, I bring 50 or $100, and I either leave with more or leave with zero. But I never bet more than I came with. Yeah, right, right. That's called what do you call? What do you say? Recreational gambling, right? Like it's a game or something. And I always tell the kids, if the game stops being fun, it's not a game anymore, and you should stop playing, right? I don't know. Is addiction fun? I don't know. I know people who play online slots put in money in the thousands. They win sometimes, but they also lose. Fuck that. World's messed up enough. I don't need that stress for real. Right. And I think that's what I'm saying. To me, that does sound stressful as all shit. That sounds like a bunch of emotional ups and downs, and like just the idea that I might lose my money for no good reason fills me with dread. It does. So, I just don't understand. I can't, but it's yeah. I really it's different neurological pattern. It's a different brain structure thing. I do believe that because I feel that same build up right before, and to me, it's dread, not excitement. And it's the same thing on a roller coaster, and it kind of goes back to something that my mom loves roller coasters, and I don't. Okay, but I've been to several theme parks, consequently, and I've ridden a few, and I can only come to the conclusion that I'm screaming in terror. She's screaming with excitement and laughing, and it's just two different universes, in the same little cart. I just it's a mind fuck, right? And I do. And that's one of the reasons. Maybe this is how I think, but like neurology is so fascinating to me because I do think it explains a lot of stuff like that. The way two people can respond completely differently to literally the exact same experience. She and I were both strapped in to the same ride. You know. Oh, I love roller coasters since I was a kid, but I wouldn't put that on anyone who doesn't love it, right? But so why do some people love them and some people hate them? You know? Okay, that's weird. Roller coaster rides are the best. I scream, laugh hysterically too. Your mom sounds cool. Oh. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. She is not cool. She does love roller coasters. She's not allowed to ride them anymore. I don't know. Maybe she can now because she got a new heart. But since I was a kid, she was not actually allowed to ride the roller coaster because pacemaker. And I know I'm a wet blanket. I know I'm a wet blanket. I know. It's okay. I'm the one who watches the stuff while everyone else goes on the rides. And I still get a sunburn and I have to walk around all day. And I know I'm the wet blanket. There's a link between personality disorders and risk taking behavior. Yes. Yes. People with personality disorders are more likely to indulge in risk taking behavior. On the other hand, so are certain personality types in general. And I don't know that liking roller coasters is necessarily a sign of a personality disorder. That's certainly not what I mean to say. Again, I use myself as like a comparison, but not I'm not right. I'm just different, like I heard that if one likes the smell of gasoline, they're more likely to become a drug addict. Not sure if that's true, but it's interesting. So, there's not lead in that shit anymore, right? I've always liked the smell of gasoline, but I've always been afraid that there was lead in it. So it's always like, ooh, And like I smoke cigarettes and and other things. Well, I've read some pretty credible studies about it. Interesting. True, but you can love roller coasters without having a personality disorder. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Exactly. I don't think that that's indicative of anything on its own, other than perhaps just a basic level difference in personality type. That's what I'm saying. I think if I were to venture to make a hypothesis, I think people who love roller coasters are more likely to be liberal minded, to be less conservative generally. I could be wrong, but I'd be fascinated to see a comparison on those numbers. I like the smell of gasoline and am a drug addict. Checks out. Okay, I've never given myself the opportunity to get addicted to anything really interesting. I just don't do them because I have other shit to do. I don't have time for that crap. I did drink a lot in my 20s, and now I don't. So, swing and a miss on that one. uh, I just took my kid to Vancouver Playland for his birthday. Oh, nice. The beast is just perfection. Being thrown in the air is great and freeing. Yeah. Standing on the ground is nice and freeing. I don't know what you're. No. No, I can't fly. No, 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 no. Please don't throw me in the air. That sounds like torture. No, 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 no. Oh, it's so funny. I like the smell of chlorine. It smells like clean. Yeah, no. Chlorine has, I'm a Midwestern kid, okay? I grew up in the biggest large landlocked city on the continent. Well, as a kid anyway. Indianapolis, where I was lived as a kid, is this big city with no real river, no lake, nothing. Okay. So we swam in pools is what I'm getting at. So to me, the smell of chlorine is like summer days filled with fun and playing with friends and whatever. So like, yeah. I've always assumed that's why. I kind of like the smell of chlorine. Walk in a bathroom and go, oh, smells like a pool. Nice. Funny enough, I tend to get car sick. Oh, I also bet that people that get car sick dislike roller coasters more than people who don't. So you get car sick and you do like roller coasters, and I don't like them, and I don't think I've ever been car sick in my life. My mom owned a tavern, and I bartended and drank like a fish every night for years, and then I just walked away from it. Right. Brother's a lifelong alcoholic. Ew, sorry. I think it's just luck of the draw. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's not really any alcoholism. You have to go 4 generations back before you find anybody in my family who was an alcoholic. So I had that in my corner. Yeah. Pretty solidly. But I've never tried anything harder than that because I don't see why. Like, I don't see, I genuinely don't. I genuinely, that's another thing, honestly. Like the gambling and the roller coasters and like bungee jumping, like skydiving, you could not pay me. Genuinely, you could not pay me to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. You could not do. I would not do that. Um, Humans are definitely complex. Yep. Just an hour south of Indy, and it sucks. Oh, right. Yeah, Bloomington. I'm sorry, girl. Saltwater pools are so much more pleasant than chlorine, though. I don't know. I hate the smell of chlorine. Like, to each her own. Like I say, I had strong associations, literally, of happy childhood memories. So, yeah, what are you going to do? Watched my mom being an alcoholic. It was the best deterrent for me. One imagines. Yeah. No, my mom is the sort of woman who would get drunk off 2 glasses of White Zinfandel. So, yeah, it just doesn't. And my dad's a diabetic, so he doesn't drink like at all. So, yeah. Uh, I'm the freak of the family there too. Okay, because neither of them smokes either. They're nerds, geeks. Like my parents are both geeks. Okay, so for me, the whole rock and roll lifestyle thing was actual rebellion. you know, Uh, yeah, I grew up on the coast and I was able to swim in natural lakes and oceans. That's nice. That's nice. We have an artificial, a big, like a, they dammed a river not far from here. So there's a big artificial lake not far from here. That's what our kids usually swim in. We have access to a pool, but it's an indoor pool and like it's summer. Hello, I'm gonna take them to the fucking lake. No. I don't even like flying in an airplane. Sure as hell I'm not jumping out of it. No, 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 no. I don't like flying either. And I know that cars are theoretically more dangerous, but if you crash a car, like it might be a fender bender, right? You might walk away from that. If you crash an airplane, you gonna die. Like it's this the all or nothing thing that really sets my bells a ringing, I think. What up, Sticky? How you doing? Oh, welcome to the chat. We wandered a little bit from the topic at hand, but I live on an island. But that chlorine smell, I can't help but love it. No clue why. That's interesting. I wonder if it's similar to like if it and gasoline are somehow like you know how some people can smell bitter almonds and other people can't smell it. You know, some people love smell gasoline, some people hate it. Can we be friends? Where are you from? I am in Tennessee. Where are you? Sticky, are you a troll? Yeah, thanks, Joe. From Ohio. Yeah. I spent quite a bit of time in Ohio. Ohio's a trip. My high school was being a good kid. And when I wanted piercings, my mom signed for it. And when I smoked pot, my parents were like, okay, smoke with us. We can get safe weed. I am not a troll. I have special needs. Okay. You know, the only real rule here is you have to agree to disagree. No fights, no arguments. I have learned problems and talking problems and ADHD problems. Oh, I'm sorry. That's hard. Why does it sound like someone is smoking a black and mild? You're talking about Ohio. I must be having a flashback. I am 24. Right on. I am 40. So, welcome to the chat, Sneaky. And I have a job. Right on. I have this. This is my job. You're looking at it. Well, and mom stuff. And I'm writing a novel, which I like to talk about. I couldn't rebel. My parents were too chill. Oh dear. That may have warped you in its own way, perhaps. Do you think, huh? Can you make a video about Sam Collins? I know that name. Who is that? Remind me. Can I call you my YouTube mom? I mean, yeah, I guess. I suppose that's the direction things are going in, isn't it? Yeah. I'm the rad mom. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's the idea of knowing I'm going down in the plane for longer than I want to know it. Being surrounded by other panicked people. So that does not sound very pleasant. Yeah, right. No, 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 no. Yeah. I mean, if I was into really bad shit, maybe, but like I said, I was a good kid. Mm. Yeah, no, and I really was too. You know, like, ooh, I had sex with my boyfriend. Ooh, I smoked pot. Ooh. I literally didn't even smoke cigarettes till college. Like I say, I was 19 when I started smoking cigarettes. I they were geeks. I didn't have to go hard, you know? Like, she is a tiff. She makes similar kinds of videos like Jammy Dodger. Oh, what am I doing today? You're looking at it. We only parent fruit of our own loins. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, I mean, developing this whole thing. I don't really know. I mean, I'm also sort of like, I don't want to be everybody's mom. I am a mom. You know, like that's part of the thing. It's a question worth answering, though. You know, um, they wouldn't have been cool with me doing hard drugs or partying, obviously. Yeah, right. And I honestly just don't have interest in that stuff. So thank goodness I didn't have to go hard because I didn't want to. He likes scary stuff or sports stuff. I mean, scary stuff, but not so much sports. I don't really understand. Uh, let's see. I was completely feral, but I didn't do drugs. So, drugs and rock or sex and rock and roll, but no drugs. Right on. Right on. Respect. This person is interesting. What kind of scary stuff? Oh my gosh, just the found like the ghost TikToks and shit. Those are fun. Those are fun. A lot of them are just so fake though. Watch that when I want to turn my brain off and not think about things. Because they, are good enough to hold your attention and be like, what is it? What? Wait, what? Do I go to a haunted house? Oh yeah. Mad for the haunted house. Not this time of year though. Yeah, my parents treated me like an adult once I hit puberty, so I pretty much did what I wanted. Wow. But I stayed out of trouble because they also made me smart. Hmm. Yeah. You just said your mom was an alcoholic? Was that you? No. That was Kitty. Let's just say my idol was Courtney Love. Right. Do I live with my parents? No. Do I have brothers or sisters? I have sisters. What about you? Iggy Pop vomited in my car, and I made him and my roommate who borrowed my car clean it up at 4 a.m. It's weird because he seems like a nice guy, though. Am I off base about that? Like, I mean, vomit notwithstanding. They're older and younger. Yes, they have one older sister. Okay. I was in and out of mental hospitals and put on all kinds of psych meds, so I grew up in that environment. Oh, wow. She's not here to answer personal questions. Maybe just listen to what she's talking about and talk about that. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Because we don't want to derail the conversation. We were going at a good clip. What were we talking about? Airplanes. That can't be right. Oh, just listen and get a feel for the vibe and try and put in when you can. It's good. It's good. Um, yeah. So where were we? Hmm. We have an hour left. Rebelling against parents. Yeah. No, my parents were geeks. They were. So. Whether, oh yeah, the difference, the neurological differences that like, oh, what up, Mecca? How you doing, honey? Oh, yeah. No, that all goes back to my hypothesis about the neurological differences underpin the temperamental differences. Some people are look before they leap people, which is me, and other people are leap first and ask questions later people. And we need them too, And I hypothesize that the second group of people are the ones who love roller coasters and gambling and all that stuff. I'm doing well, besides the fact that getting old is stupid and will make your back hurt when you sleep wrong. Oh, my back's always done that to me. You like to ask questions? No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Ask questions about like the topic at hand. Like I had a video up about an hour ago, which you're free to go and watch. It's about 15 minutes long. We'll still be here if you want to go and watch that. Ask questions about that stuff. That would be great. My parents were people who have been there and done that, so they knew about anything my siblings and I would get up to. Nice. I don't know. But so having started in such an incredibly liberal place initially, at least partly in response to my own temperament, because I hate that closed-minded, trying to tell everybody what to do thing. I hate that thing. I hate that shit, right? I still do. But so having started in that very, very liberal space, hippies. I gravitated in high school towards the hippies. Okay, and so permissive parenting, permissiveness, essentially, and like Wiccans. Like my dad was very in that whole thing. Like, yeah, he was a geek, but he was also a Wiccan priest. So thanks, helped shape me into who I am now, and I like me. So it turned out okay in the long run, I guess. Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of thinking about that while I was watching back this video. I feel like a lot of people in the media landscape, try to put themselves out there because they have some sort of like extraordinary position to offer, and I don't necessarily. I'm just literally going on 20 years older than a lot of the people who are in the media landscape right now. And I think about what I've said about things that were written, in the past by some radical feminists and just how rageful they were. And like, I don't even want to think about if I were trying to publish a book 20 years ago. Yeah. If I were trying to deal with this stuff in my 20s, yeah. Oh, rage, spite, bile. Absolutely. My parents were Swiss humanists, so my household was extremely liberal. We were also taught respect for other people and personal boundaries. Right. That's not the permissiveness that I'm talking about. Like the hippie level of permissiveness, like boundaries. What are those? Which, was probably my first clue as, a young woman that maybe that's not the greatest thing after all. Alcoholism really messes kids up. I'm sorry you went through that, Kitty. Yeah, same. I kind of look at all the crap from my past that way as well. But right, yeah. You have to absorb it, right? You have to be able to let it roll, either absorb it or let it roll off your back, right? Boundaries. Wiccan? Interesting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My dad was a Wiccan priest and my mom was an atheist, back in the 80s before being an atheist was cool. When I guess only geeks were atheists. I don't know. My mom was an alcoholic too. It was not great. I'm sorry. We got on this topic because I was talking about the temperamental differences. Like, I went through a Wiccan phase when I was a teenager. Yeah, right. A lot of girls did. And by that point, I was over it. I'm that bitch, okay? Because I went through my Wiccan phase in elementary school when no one else knew what the fuck I was on about, right? Like, because my dad had literally converted. So, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So, I sympathize with that on the one hand. But on the other hand, as a 16-year-old, it's like, oh, so now y'all want to watch The Craft? Bitches. Okay. Yes, the main character and I have the same name. You just noticed that. Congratulations. Like, yeah. Like, oh. Yes, for sure. I'm glad you were able to do that. Right. My boundaries are life saving. Oh, okay. I taught both my children about boundaries all the same. It's part of everything. Right. Yeah. And especially, like, we live in a small house. It's these invisible walls that keep you sane, right? In cramped quarters. I think it's because of the crystals. They're so pretty. I do. I think that's part of it. I do. That's part of what brought me back to it. Like, I'm not even going to lie, to witchcraft anyway. I'm not Wiccan. Me too. I had to spell book when I was 12, and I used to make all kinds of potions. That's awesome. Yeah, I went through the phase being in middle school / high school. Yeah. I was the nerdy realist. I'm the bubble burster. The nice crystals and energy incense. And energy and incense. Right, yeah. No, I think the energy is what actually brought me back to it. And when you start talking about energy, you start attracting some very strange people, most of whom I have already met, if you know what I'm saying. My dad is a Wiccan priest, okay? So I am not impressed by your woo, basically. I am a cynical bitch when it comes to woo, And so the fact that I have to sit here and admit that no, energy does exist though, and whatever is actually a little embarrassing. Boy, howdy, am I glad to be done with the kind of dudes you meet when you talk about woo. Yes! Oh my god. I was never really taught how to set boundaries, and learning as an adult is hard. Oh, I can imagine. Just like learning anything as an adult is hard. Yes, I was strangely lucky in that my parents were big on personal privacy, and we weren't even allowed to open someone else's junk mail. Pretty sure that's a federal crime. I actually collect crystals, except I'm a hard atheist. I think that gemology is cool. Yeah. So a hard materialist, you mean? A strict materialist? That's fine. Oh, I was that for so long. I really, really, have a lot of sympathy for that position, and I know a lot of, that's fine. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything, goodness knows. Except that women are people. That's really my main focus. It's convincing the world that women are people. Which doesn't have a whole lot to do with crystals. So, haha, for real, patchouli smelling Peter Pans. What? Oh yeah, patchouli smelling Peter Pans. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I usually encountered patchouli smelling white knights, but the principle is the same. I'm down to pretend to not believe in anything. I have to pretend to not believe in to avoid. I'm down to pretend to not believe in anything. I have to pretend to not believe in to avoid a conversation with. Right, yes. To believe a conversation, you want to have a conversation. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. You pretend to be an atheist so you don't have to have the conversation. Yeah. I haven't quite got there yet. It's only just been in the last few years that I've even admitted to myself that I had to do any of that stuff at all. So, I haven't really, and I don't get out much. So, nothing wrong with collecting pretty rocks. No, it's the opposite of wrong. I've studied Zen Buddhism for 30 years. Wow, but I don't believe in anything because I don't even know why I'm in a meat suit conscious on a rock ball that appears to be hurtling through space. I'm a hard materialist, so women are real and crystals are just pretty rocks. Yeah, right. And women are real. And I completely and wholeheartedly agree with you there. And that is the main point of everything that I do. The crystals are for me. They're incidental to everything else. Pretty rocks. I'm a fake atheist. Yeah, I haven't had to pull that card yet. I actually have been attending an Episcopal church here in town for years because it is the only way in a town like this to meet anyone. So we picked the one where all the Democrats go. So, I've had various conversations with people about God over the years where I have to just not give my customer responses, because even, my own little spiritual thing that I've been doing does not involve the Christian God. Like, no. And the more I think about it, the more I think the whole thing is ridiculous. Like, oh my gosh, who said I heard somebody summed it up this way the other day, and I laughed so hard. That he had to sacrifice himself to save us all from himself, or something like that. I think it's ridiculous. God, politics could make me crawl under a table at this point. I vote for Cthulhu. Yeah. And, I have not gone hardcore into politics on this channel, even though I've been tempted to. Because, I don't know. That's just a particular set of sharp rocks I don't feel like smashing myself against every week. I just don't, like, that's, no. I do not want to be subject to just the whims of, like, what happened to Trump the other day? I was on the road all day when that happened. I didn't hear about that all day. I was probably the only person in the world that didn't hear about that all day. Sacrifice himself to save himself from himself. Sounds legit. Right. And it's something like that, right? I don't like enough coming from either side to justify getting in an argument about it. Yeah, no, yeah. Same. Hell yeah. All hail Cthulhu. Yeah. I don't know. I actually, I did a little bit of research into H.P. Lovecraft a few weeks ago because he intrigues me. Because he has essentially achieved what I hope to do with his work. In, and beyond, like, been wholeheartedly embraced by like the occult community to sort of an insane degree, especially for someone who all his life claimed not to believe in any of that stuff and that he was just writing fiction. Uh it feels insane to be arguing a side if you don't really like either side. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's why, I argue for the principles that matter and that I understand that to be important. Um, and neither side is on women's side right now. So yeah, that's a tough nut to crack. On the other hand, Project 2025 is mind-bogglingly terrifying. And I don't exaggerate. So, not really so much of an argument as not that. Please, for the love of all that is holy, not that. I've just stopped thinking about politics much at this point. It seems like it falls on the things I can't change side of the Serenity Prayer. Oh, God. The funniest thing to me is people who worship fictional entities. That's my favorite basket of cultists. Project 2025. You mean, wait, everyone. That's I actually love how the concept of an egregore is out there in the public consciousness now because, whoopsie, did we just explain away God again? Oh dear. People who believe in worship fictional entities. That's my favorite basket of cultists. Project 2025 is mostly the usual conservative agenda sold as something new to the media. Where did you hear that? Like, I have not been paying attention to the media stuff about it. I've been looking into, or a couple of people who just, been looking independently into it because that's the sort of stuff that they do. And that has not been my impression at all. I mean, yeah, this is things that the disgusting beating heart of the conservative movement has always believed, you know. But no, they want to like enact some stuff like, the one that strikes my mind for no reason is government spending, like just writ large, for religious schools and religious indoctrination in public schools as a rule. Okay, Christian, obviously, like just as part of the plan, which that alone is A, unconstitutional, and B, kind of horrifying. The Trump supporters are lucky in that at least a lot of them actually really like Trump, I suppose. Ignorance is bliss. That's what I've heard. What I mean by people worshiping fictional entities, clearly fictional ones, like Wonder Woman or Cthulhu. Right, yeah, that is. But that's one of the reasons that Lovecraft's work intrigues me so, and other people, I think, so much, is because that line's been completely blurred over the last 100 years for a lot of people. Almost all the things I've seen for Project 25 is stuff I've heard conservative politicians doing my whole life. Yeah. But at a federal level, written officially into the federal law, like, we don't want that. That's bad. We really, really, really do not want that. We have been essentially coasting on the legacy of FDR for 80 fucking years. The New Deal. Okay? And they've been attempting to dismantle it piece by piece ever since that. And they are about to, this is my estimation, this is my opinion. It looks to me as if they are finally about to succeed in that, okay? So don't vote, I guess. I don't give a fuck about Biden, to be honest with you. I want to avoid. I mean, I do give a fuck about Biden. What a joke, but like, I'm not voting for him. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I think it was Idaho that just passed something requiring Bibles in schools. That is blatantly unconstitutional. We do all know this. I don't know. It says that Congress shall make no law, you know, it's affecting the establishment of religion or something about favoring specific religions. And I suppose at the state level, as far as that's concerned, they can do what they want. But the federal government is supposed to be agnostic, secular. Okay, it not being that would be very bad. Depending on what theory you believe, the origins of religion in general is worshiping fictional characters. Yes, that is what I am saying. That's what I'm saying. Right. Yes. You got me, man. You got me. Oh. Sitting on the ground is for the birds. Yeah, I think some states do have an official religion. In the United States, I don't know. Maybe they do. But it has generally been considered unconstitutional to have, like, for example, federal public school funds go for religious instruction in public schools. They're supposed to be agnostic. Okay. And I want to say there's at least a couple of cases regarding this that have been taken to the federal level, to the big court, to the Supreme Court. And that's the precedent on that. So, I don't know. Maybe, you know, they got tired of waiting. Because now, I think if those cases were before the court again, they might rule differently. See, this is how this ripples out. Let's see. And Trump has said he is not affiliated with Project 2025, and that has nothing to do with him. Well, they sure think they do. I don't think they care who gets in. You know that? It kind of looks like the Heritage Foundation has set up a net to catch whatever conservative candidate might get in there. It doesn't matter. Do you think Donald Trump stands a chance against the Heritage Foundation? Because I don't. He's also expressed several positions that are contrary to what's in that Heritage Foundation wish list. Yeah, right. That's nice. He says a lot of shit. Easily 50% of which is a blatant lie. So, yeah. Say what you will about the Heritage Foundation. They're honest. Lately, anyway. I let you are my type of person, giving you a wink and a gun point with my hands. That's nice. Cthulhu. Nice. No, but just so culturally speaking, psychologically speaking, I think that H.P. Lovecraft stuff is really fascinating for various reasons. Not the least of which being he blurs the line between fiction and myth in this fascinating way that fiction just kind of is like right for just anyway if you kind of do it right, you know. To be honest, the second some public school kid forces kids to learn the Quran, Republicans will go secular again. Right, yeah. The next 20 years are going to be so much fun. I am so happy. I'm probably going to get to live to see them. The Heritage Foundation puts out a document that's almost like Project 25 every single year for decades. Okay. It also sounded like they were, you know, doing some kind of chessboard thing with like installing their people in various organizations. And I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but hey, this is the Rad Mom channel. We connect the dots around here. And I'm just telling you what I have, you know, been hearing from a couple of people who've made it their business to investigate this kind of thing. Not for like because they're journalists, just because they're like kind of shocked. They are unpleasantly consistent, but I guess I haven't been given a reason to be more concerned about their wish list this year than I am most years. Okay. I guess they've just been doing some weird rumbling, like, funding feminists. Like they give Kelly J. Keane money to come and speak in the United States. Like that's where she got a lot of her funding from. And that's kind of weird. Why is the Heritage Foundation funding feminists or people who sure as fuck, she's a femalist, but whatever. Let women speak. Hello. Like that's weird. And that was a head scratcher for me for a minute because I'm very busy in my life and I was distracted. But like just to look at that, like that's weird. Okay. And she didn't seem to understand why it was weird. Because again, Brits, mwah, like most Americans don't even understand American politics. I'm not even saying that I understand American politics, but that's a fundamental thing. They're like, no, conservatives and liberals do not work together in the United States. It's not a thing we do and have not done for 30 some odd years at least. So, oh. It's literally been around for 20 years or maybe longer. No, I know they have. But does that mean that they can't have set the stage for something? Like literally, you could interpret that on either side. Oh, they've been around for a while. Okay. No, this has been planned for many, many years, and they have been putting their people in, and the Democrats have been letting them. Right. That's not weird. They agree on that single issue, and it's the only thing they can get people on the left to vote single issue for a Republican for. It tracks to fund that. Right. But so, like, I mean, Kelly J is a TERF, but, like, anti-trans is not her main thing. Okay. I do. I think that the Heritage Foundation has been doing some funny stuff in the last few years that you wouldn't expect from an organization like that. Because the platform is literally called Let Women Speak. Which, if you look at the Heritage Foundation's platform, they should not be in favor of a thing like that. That is weird. It's the reason Obama didn't put Roe v. Wade into law when he had the House and Senate. The Democrats used that issue to bring people out to vote. They didn't really care about women either. Oh, no. I know. It's not Kelly J's main thing, but it's the main thing people who don't listen to a lot of her talking know her for. I don't know if this is rude to say, but a lot of the time, I kind of doubt whether KJK is actually a feminist. No, I don't think that she is. On the other hand, she straight up says she's not and has invented her own label for what she does, so, whatever. She does her Let Women Speak thing, so, more power to her. But at the same time, last week's video, oh my god, I feel like I got punished for making last week's video, y'all. That bitch didn't even make 200 views. I was getting more than that 2 years ago. Ouch. There's an effort on the right to do a right-wing feminism thing. There's a lot of that kind of thing. Like I saw a Women for Trump ad yesterday. Right. So they're trying to co-opt it because the left has abandoned it. Which is nonsense. But, so was left-wing feminism for ages and ages, right? Like, I loved last week's video. I'm so sad that most people didn't see it. Because really, yeah, mainstream feminism is so compromised. And I love that clip I found of literally Jennifer Aniston, of all people, interviewing Gloria Steinem. And when Jennifer says to Gloria, well, I think we're fucked. And Gloria says, haha, I guess we're fucked. And they're laughing kind of nervously. And Gloria raises her fist as if to say, yeah, we're fucked. And it's like, bitch, whose side are you on? What is that? That struck me as very weird. Like, that's just one of those little things. This is like, anyone else seeing this? That's weird. Yeah, there's a strain of tradcat thought that it's like the real feminism is helping women be the best handmaid possible. Right. See, that's been around for a long time, too. That's been around for a long time. And I feel like conservative thought reabsorbs a lot of women, a lot of young women, especially that way, who might become feminists otherwise. Yes, it's like a buffer, you know. Oh no, we have that. Oh no, we have that. Stay in here. Stay in here. It's okay. I love that video. I even commented. Oh, did you? I probably saw it and responded, and I don't even remember. I'm sorry. Um, it's not strange for them to realize they have a women problem and make steps to address it by finding a thing women agree with them on and funding that. Okay. But what I'm saying is it's underhanded. Okay? So when I say they're doing things you wouldn't, they're doing things that make me scratch my head and say, why would they do that? You know. The right is perfectly happy to absorb feminism because they're the only ones at the moment admitting women even exist. So then they can destroy it. Obviously. Yes, I've encountered the first real feminist separatists are nuns, Tradcats. Right, yeah. Because working for the church is a life of feminist what? What? Being the bride of Christ? Hello? What? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. They don't understand what a nun is. I thought these are Catholics we're talking about. What the fuck? Whatever. I should be used at this point to understanding somebody else's religion better than they do. Because they actually have this thing where I like want to know the truth about stuff. So I find myself reading into things and going, oh, nope, same bullshit. Moving on, you know. And actually, Joe, you said you've practiced Buddhism for 30 years? Girlfriend, how do you deal? And I probably talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You probably heard me talk about this. Like, I read into some Buddhism, you know, and the whole oneness thing is very nice. The whole, you know, that's the getting past your ego to actually, you know, be one with your, you know, with the world and everything is very nice. On the other hand, like it takes that same like rejection of material pleasure, like literally material life, asceticism thing that like, you know, certain branches of Christianity take, and I just can't. Do you just leave that shit out? Because from what I looked at, it was, you know, that same shit all over. The further you can get away from life, the more holy you are, basically. And I just. Then why do we have it? What the fuck is that? Co opting is a thing done here all the time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Which, like I say, that's probably the one benefit I do have is my age, and I've had the benefit of the time to really get my thoughts together about stuff and why in the fuck it is I believe what I believe, you know? So I find myself less swayable. It's like, yeah, I'm pissed off at the Democrats. That sure as shit does not mean I need to go calling myself a Republican. What the fuck is that? Oh, my party abandoned me, so I'm going to go join the other one. What? No. No. That doesn't mean I don't still believe a lot of the shit they used to believe. It's the same thing with how the left feels about feminism. To the extent to which leftist pros find elements useful to them, they're all about it. Maybe that's just how patriarchy works, huh? Like, obviously, patriarchy, capitalism, by way of capitalism, is reabsorbing feminism. Yeah. Capitalism needs to co-opt dissent. It's what it does, right? It's hegemony for those living within it, right? It's the same. Feminism isn't for everybody, but sex work is work, right? Yeah. Zen philosophy doesn't teach that. Their monks can get married. It's really just a philosophy on how not to suffer. Nothing fancy. Oh yeah, that's it. That wanting is the root of all suffering. That's like a basic Buddhist tenet, right? Tibetan Buddhism added all the bullshit. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the Japanese version. Zen is the Japanese one, right? I think Anna Kasparian is setting herself up to become a Republican openly. I've not been watching her that closely lately. That would be weird. All right. Ooh, did you watch Human Resources or the period poem? Oh my God, no! I didn't hardly watch anything this week, except the one thing that I ended up sticking in my video because I can't get away from what's on my mind. Like, it's terrible. As a matter of fact, my teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, oh well, I've heard of him. Teaches engaged to Buddhism because he doesn't think it's enough to just sit. You have to go out, okay, in the world and be with people. Right? Yeah. It pisses me off when people assume because I hate Biden that I must be for Trump, or because I hate Trump I'm for Biden. Yeah, and I think they're both equally horrible candidates. Both completely horrible candidates. Yeah, agree. I don't know if they're equally horrible. I that's kind of a, it changes by the day, honestly. Anna Kasparian is not becoming a Republican. She's just getting frustrated with getting attacked over the dumbest things, like thinking crime is bad. Yeah. Shoot, and even Jon Stewart was saying last night or the other night or whenever that was about how people are like preoccupied with who committed the crime, the identity of the criminal, before they want to, before they, what they want to know that before they react, which does seem a little odd. And thinking, and Anna got called a transphobe, so it's possible. Yeah, whatever. Poor Anna. I wish that she would put her big girl pants on. I know that she's been working in that place for a very long time, but like, I've been called a transphobe a billion, million, zillion, gajillion times, and I am still not a Republican. I will never be a Republican. So long as they're the party of Christ, for heaven's sake. Like, really? Christian conservatism? No. No, 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 no. The left having gotten on the anti-prison, pro-drug agenda is frustrating for most people. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. At least that makes some sense if you're talking about egalitarianism. If you're talking about a group who supposedly want freedom and equality for all, that at least makes some sense. And I got called a transphobe saying she wants to be called a woman and not a womb hammer. Yeah, right. No, I know. She didn't say or imply trans women aren't or can't be women. Right. Shooter Nazi. That's all you need to understand about him. Let me tell you what. I don't need to understand shit about him. He missed. I'm sorry. To my knowledge, Anna believes that trans women are women, trans men are men. Yeah, and to my knowledge, I don't care. Like, no offense to Anna Kasparian. She is entitled to her opinions, and I am entitled to not know them. That's fine. People who are living with violent crime, being a constant threat, don't feel terribly freed by an agenda to ensure there's no protection from this for them. Yeah. Not even vigilantism because anti-gun. Yeah, no, I know. There are so many other things that need worked on first. Right. You can't just abolish the prisons without, first dealing. You need to empty them out slowly first by dealing with the issues that get people sent there. Right. You should probably wait to close down the prisons until a hypothetical future date when we don't need them anymore. Like, duh. I'm with you there. But as a goal for an egalitarian group, at least that makes any sense at all. It's very boomery though, where they want to just like skip to the end and say, "Our work here is done." No, wait, no. And then of course that sabotages the whole thing. It won't go well, and then somebody else will come along and say, "We need to clamp down on crime." Blah 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 blah. And in come the right wing, fucking fascists, right? Like round and round and round we go. Oh my goodness. Where's the nuance? We are all adults, right? It's like what I was saying about how feminism is so terrified of the idea that women exist because we've accepted this idea that hierarchy is inherent in binary. If you have two things, one of them's obviously got to be better than the other one, right? No. That's playground level logic. Are we adults? I don't understand. Does being an adult fucking mean anything? I like to think I have acquired a little bit more nuanced understanding of things through the years, which is why I bother to make these videos, frankly, because I do. I see so many younger people, most of them in their 20s, I think, saying a lot of the shit I was thinking when I was about that age. And I just have to go, no, wait a minute, I have a thought. I have an experience on that. Wait, like, User what up? Don't worry, I will keep bringing up human resources if you're info until you're so sick and tired of what you watch them just to get me off your back. That's perfect. That's what I need. Thank you. That's what I need. Oh my gosh. Oh, because I mentioned I have had to schedule out my week, so like Fridays to make sure I get the damn novel done. So Friday is writing day. Okay, it's also grocery shopping day, but that takes a couple hours. Oh, people who are laughing. Yeah, right. It's fine as long-term goal to want to wind up there. Right. But most of them are like, right now, yeah, no, that's prisons and cops got to go. Let's get people out with it. No. That's just so impractical. That is asking for failure. Being an adult means nothing when you're arguing with people with poor reading comprehension or understanding of the structure of an argument or what qualifies as evidence. No, I know. Education is a big deal. On the other hand, I think a lot of it, I mean, like, you know what I said? I learned this the other day, that the general intelligence of the United States has gone up measurably in the last 2 generations. And I think it's because of lack of lead contamination in our air, okay? So no, like, people are actually maybe less educated, but actually generally smarter theoretically than we were a couple of decades ago. And I just, like, no. People are panicking. People are freaked out constantly. That'll kill your critical thinking right there. I don't care how smart you are. Strong agree. Sometimes I really, really wish the people I was arguing with had studied social science or even just had good media literacy. Right. Not everybody's mind runs to these kinds of things. And maybe we're barking up the wrong tree there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am a lot, mainly, so not mainly, but like I'm easily half self-educated. Okay. Because I read books and newspapers and I talk to people who have experiences and things. And like, I'm just a magpie mind sort of person. And I'm not trying to blame the victim here, be like, oh, well, they should have educated themselves. But on the other hand, like, I don't feel it's unproductive to judge somebody because they don't share the same interests that we do. Like, that's not how we're going to win the day. That's not how we're going to get anywhere. No. I think it's best to just move on, find somebody who does share those interests, and has educated about themselves about some of these things. Because God knows I didn't have media literacy so much in my 20s either. On the other hand, I have since watched the entire media careers of various talking heads, have their arc and crash and burn or whatever, to the point where, I've learned a lot about how that stuff seems to work. But I didn't have that experience 20 years ago to draw from. You know what I'm saying? You have to watch and pay attention. And I don't know. I think if you do that, you end up learning stuff just as you age, whether you want to or not. What up, Scott? How you doing? Also, people are just being constantly bombarded by propaganda, which doesn't help. That's what I'm saying. People are terrified. That'll kill your critical thinking. I don't care how smart you are. It's the great equalizer in that way, fear, And we want to think we're too smart for propaganda, but like, what isn't propaganda? I mean, not me, obviously. No. Everything is, because we're all media with no message is not a story. Like good stories have morals at the end, a little lesson that's packed in with, that you get to walk away feeling happy with, right? Like that's what that is. So propaganda is just good storytelling. And the question is, what the fuck story? What the fuck is the moral of the story that you just heard? You know what I'm basically. And, I think that's part of the mistake because people have this idea that propaganda is something else. Propaganda is advertising, or propaganda is certain kinds of movies, or propaganda is pornography, or whatever. It's like, no, propaganda is good storytelling, like of all kinds. Yep, fear is the biggest driving factor for people. Right. They use fear as a political tactic for a very good reason. It works. Now, I know it does. So we should be talking about that. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the education system. I mean, yeah, the education system, but also, I don't care how ignorant somebody is. A reasonable level of intelligence, you should be able to practically think through things. Okay? Unless you're fucking terrified. In which case, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how educated you are, frankly. Spend a day reading different countries' highlights of an event, and you'll see how different the news is from one place to another. Who to believe, right? Which that itself is terrifying. I mean, I get it, okay? All media is propaganda. It's meant to manipulate you in one way or another, even if it's just your feelings. That's what I'm saying, but that's what storytelling is. Okay, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about this because I'm writing a novel. This is my first big novel. I've done a lot of nonfiction writing because I used to find it kind of distasteful, honestly, in that same way that, yeah, you are manipulating people. You're trying to make them feel things. You're trying to conjure up images inside somebody else's mind you've never fucking met. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. And I'm just one of those weird people who I'm like, oh my God, that almost sounds unethical. But storytelling is a foundational mechanism of the human mind. We all tell ourselves stories about shit all the time. Okay, today I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to the store, and then I'm gonna come home and get that shit done. There's a little story you just told yourself. How many times have you told yourself that one, huh? Right? Like, I'm starting to compare different countries' news coverages, and it's really interesting. Oh, yeah. Watch Human Resources. Okay. The crux of the problem is over half of U.S. adults cannot read it better than a fifth grader. See, it's impossible to think critically when you only have read at a fifth grade level. See, I don't think that's true. How exactly well could cavemen read? They survived all right. No, I don't think that's true. If anything, like, we definitely need better education. I'm not saying that, but it's not the scapegoat for the lack of reasoning skills. That's not why. Human Resources goes into all that propaganda stuff. Awesome. The American education system is itself propaganda, meant to take away children's critical thinking skills and to believe what they are told. There's also that argument to be made, too. I think perhaps that might be just a misuse of a good idea because, a generalized basic level of education is beneficial, neutrally speaking. Someone on Twitter yesterday said reading is fucking crazy. People just sit for hours staring at dried trees, hallucinating. Yeah, I've heard that too. It's pretty funny. I have Fantasia. Oh, wow. You mean aphantasia? When I found out I had it, I realized that although it might be somewhat of a curse, I think it's a bigger blessing. You have aphantasia? Seriously? That's nuts. I can't even imagine. I told myself if I ever met somebody with that, I would not say that. I'm so sorry. Truly, though, that is so outside my experience. My, mind's eye is strong enough. Sometimes I have to remind myself I didn't actually do something. I just thought about doing it really, really hard. Something I really enjoy is watching the documentary series different countries make about themselves. Like History of Spain told by the Spanish. Ooh. Yeah. That does sound fun. I wonder what parts they emphasize that others might not, and vice versa, you know? No, literally, like I'll be like thinking really hard about going into the bedroom and getting something or whatever. And then I'll go outside and I'll be like, no, I went in and I got that. And I don't have it because I realized I just thought about getting it really, really hard. I never actually physically went in and did the thing. Like, some wild stuff. The History of Sweden series uses AI videos mixed in with reenactors, and it's actually like staring into the abyss. It's terrifying. Like, were they trying to make it like hyper realistic or something? Oh, aphantasia. Got it. What the fuck is that? Where they have no picture in their mind's eye, you know, like picture in your mind's eye, and they can't do that. At least that's my understanding of it. Is that correct? Which again, to me, sounds like that's a mind-boggling. Like, how do you? I don't know how you do anything. I don't know how I would do. How do you? I can't. And this is like what I was saying about the roller coaster thing. Like, not everyone's mind works the same. Not everyone's brain works the same. And I think those two things might be interrelated. Because obviously, however it is that you get about your day is not the same way I get about mine. Um, which is fascinating. How can one lifestyle possibly be right for everyone when something so fundamental to the way your mind works as that can be so vastly different between two people? That makes just think about that. That's why to me that makes no damn sense. Apparently some people don't have an internal monologue. Right, yeah, I've heard that too, which also to me is mind-boggling. Those are two things, like I rely on those two things, like to think. The combination of those two things is what I consider to be thinking. So like what are y'all doing? You know, like I've seen a similar AI vid based on Jesus, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen the Mandela catalog, but it was just like something from that series. No, but that sounds terrifying. And I think it's so interesting how Christians have this passionate just need to bring that story to life, you know, like do y'all not think it already happened or what is that? Oh. My daughter told me when she reads books, she sees like movies in her head. Right. It literally took my breath away to hear that. I have never seen an image in my head of any kind. Wow. It blew my mind to find out some people have no internal monologue. Right. Yeah. Right. So what do they do? What are they thinking about? What are they doing? Like what? Watching a movie with fourth wall narration must be weird for those people, right? Because they're like, why does this guy shut up? Why is he talking to us about everything he's doing? Like, I also do not have an internal dialogue. I can turn mine off and on. It will at will. And it doesn't have a voice of any kind. It's just streams of thought. Wow. Girl, so like that's what I'm saying. Okay, so between the mind's eye, you know, imagery and stuff, which to me is all the senses, by the way. I can picture sounds and smells and all that stuff. That combined with the internal monologue is literally to me what thinking is. So what are you doing? Like, this is so wild. This is so like amazing, like cool, and it just like you just became the coolest person I know because that's so interesting. That's so bonkers to me. Like what? In the True Blood books, they describe the inside of the minds of glamoured people as sounding like techno and white noise. If you read their minds, I imagine it must be like that to have no inner voice. No, like, clearly they have some method for organizing themselves. I've been interacting with this woman off and on in the live streams for weeks. Like, clearly she thinks. I just don't know how. Like, what? You just did the perfect soy face? Okay, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. My face does a lot of things. Most of them are unconsciously directed by me. I also realize
Let's see. This stuff evolved relatively recently. My guess is that humanity became a successful evolutionary niche before that stuff fully developed. Yeah, yeah, that could be. That could be. Have you Oh, who's that book by? About the bicameral mind, the breakdown of the bicameral mind. Who is that? Oh crap. I also realized that these things was why it was so easy for me to meditate and be in the present moment. I don't obsessively think at all. I don't even know how to do that. Wow, so no intrusive thoughts for you. Okay, okay, okay. But like, I mean, for example, I live in a giant jukebox. I'm not even kidding. I literally have songs and movies, mostly clips of movies, recorded like just dozens and dozens and dozens of them in here. Are you conscious and subconscious just the same thing at this point? I choose to think. That's crazy. I've made best friends with an innocent guy who's been in prison for 30 years for something he didn't do, and they put him in solitary for his first 10 years, which is his entire 20s. Oh my god. Julius James, who's that? And he's just like me because after staring at the wall, he learned how to think at will so we can talk for hours because we understand each other in a very weird way. Huh. Oh my god, that's so tragic. Nobody deserves to be in solitary for that long. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's me. Isolation is humanity's greatest fear. We all want to be picked, right? We all have that fear of being excluded. His mother is Japanese and his grandfather was a famous, well known Japanese monk, and he spent some time there as a kid, so he was equipped somehow to deal with it. It's fascinating. Interesting. Oh, Julian James is the author of the Bicameral Mind. Oh, okay, 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 okay. But that's like the second half of the title. It's something, something, and the breakdown of the bicameral mind. You know the one I'm talking about? My dad had that on the shelf when I was a kid. Did I mention my parents were geeks? They're not allowed to do that anymore. It's illegal. Yeah. Well, because yeah, solitary confinement is humanity's biggest, like isolation is humanity's biggest fear. It's That's called DDD. It's a torture method. Mm-hmm. Read the Kubrick report. You'd be a horrible prisoner in Guantanamo Bay, or the best prisoner. You know, get out with the award for most time served and actually still be standing to collect it. My father enjoyed that book. There's also one called The Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. Right. That's the one I'm thinking of. Like, I think it was my dad who summarized that one for me a long time ago. And I'm just going to, like, it's almost 2:00. And no wonder I'm baking out here. It's getting super hot. And I'm going to have to go in the house and eat something in a minute. But no, it's the idea that, back in the day, people used to hear spirits and gods and whatever because it was, the two halves of the brain had not fused entirely in the corpus callosum, so that what they were hearing was like their own left hemisphere basically talking to them. And I thought, that's nice. Like, that's interesting, but I don't know. Based on my understanding, especially developing since I heard this idea of how the human brain actually works, like, no. Like, the interplay between the two hemispheres is integral to a lot of different like types of thoughts. So yeah, I just don't know if I buy that. Oh yeah, I can imagine that would help. For the first time, I can see the value in teaching religion to your kid. In case they're going to be in solitary confinement for a decade, yeah. It's probably the meditation. And yeah, I guess if you don't have, I don't know. Personally, I think my mind's eye would probably be the thing to save my sanity in a situation like that. But like, again, people are different. Fascinatingly so. That's really the whole point of this discussion at the moment. It's legal, but they still do it. Oh, it's awful. One of the reasons I hooked up with him was because I understand it so much, because I studied it in my fascination with how Buddhism can alter one's consciousness. And that's fascinating too. I feel like it's not my method personally. I feel like that's not my ideal method, but I'm definitely interested in stuff like that. Excuse me, and how well it does apparently work for some other people. So neat that you found each other. You're right. I've never met anybody who I could talk to and we just completely understand each other. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's really freeing for both of us. It's been a great gift. Oh, good. They still do it, not for 10 years at a time. Oh yeah, and we don't want to talk about Guantanamo here. Like, not that not that it's not important, but I have to go in a minute. We laugh a lot. Yeah, I bet. Julian Assange was in isolation for 5 years straight. They literally just released him from that. Oh my god. The experiments they did on people who had their corpus callosum severed are cool. Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. They used to do that to treat epilepsy, but now they just give people drugs that make you gain weight and be suicidal. Oh, wow. Yeah. Epilepsy is one of those things that I think they're going to discover a whole lot more about in the coming couple of decades as we move further with the fMRI stuff. Oh, yes. I just meant in the States prison system. Right. We don't have a justice system. It's a goddamn nightmare. You're right. Ugh. Yeah, it's more ethical to give you drugs than to sever your corpus callosum, which I don't know about that. But, I mean, at this point, they like to pretend they know how the drugs work, though, don't they? And they really don't understand how anyone can keep thinking after they sever your corpus callosum. But, it occurs to me, putting those two things next to one another, those experiments, like, those people should have started hearing God, right? Like, Has been a fun hang and break for my thesis. Y'all have a great week. Looking forward to the next heresy. Yeah. That'll be next week. And thanks for joining us. It's always a fun hang. I get to go and write my first new scene in the first installment for like a year and a half. So that's, I don't like looking at it like that. But I just found out about 10 years ago. It literally blew my mind. I had to change the way I thought about how other people view the world. Yeah. That to me is fascinating because it isn't just that they have a different perspective, like from experience, right? Like, oh, your mom was abusive, so you hate women or whatever. No. There's so much beyond, like things people take for granted, things that you wouldn't even consider as informing your perspective because you take them that much for granted. That's the level of stuff that interests me, because we all have that stuff. And on that note, yeah, I guess I should go because I have a ton of writing to do and like a family to spend time with or some junk like that. My husband's home today. He's usually supposed to be home on Wednesdays. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on for coming by and hanging with me, you guys. This has been just absolutely flown by. And maybe share the video around if you guys know anybody that interested in feminism and doesn't know it because they don't know what feminism is. That's basically what I'm going for. Your kitty cat wants her lunch. Okay, Scott. Everything informs us and shapes us, and that's why not one person is exactly like the other. Yep. Pretty much. No one has the exact same experiences or the exact same makeup internally. That's what I'm saying here, too. I feel love for you all. Oh, I feel love for you guys, too. I'm biased, though, because this is my thing, and I wanted to be, this is so much fun. This is so great. Mwah. I do need to go though. So, yeah. And the interplay between makeup and experience is actually, one of my biggest areas of interest. And, that's where sort of I'm going, from the middle-aged woman's perspective. Watch Human Resources and Period Poem. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good week, everybody. I'll see you next time.